Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Entropic Fog. Now, this is the return of the entropic lines, entropic rows from Sir Moose, and we've actually featured quite a few in this particular variant from Sir Moose, and it almost deserves its own playlist at this point. So when I saw this particular puzzle, I knew we're absolutely going to be playing it. Now, what you see here in this thumbnail is kind of almost the idea of entropy. You've got kind of fog that somehow clumped into what looks like digits math equations, slowly dissolving into just this fog and debris and everything else, I guess. Entropy in action. Anything else to mention before we take a look at today's puzzle and rule set? I'm actually planning on, I'm taking a look at just the grid right now and it feels like it's going to be a pretty simple break-in. But I've noticed before with some of the comments that people almost struggle a little bit with entropy, that I may take a slightly longer time to explain what's going on in here. Anyway, let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule set with Entropic Fog by Sir Moose and the following set of rules. First one is, of course, normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column of course, and then every 3 by 3 box. Then we have the entropy rows. So every 3 consecutive cells along each row must contain a low digit, 1, 2, 3, a middle digit, 4, 5, 6, and a high digit, 7, 8, 9. Now, in the rules, it doesn't say this, but obviously every row could be in a different order than what I've just showed you. And obviously this particular row, row 5, doesn't have to be in this order either. So the next one, for example, might have been 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you take a moment to think about why they have to be different, because obviously if they're not different, we're going to end up with an entire column made up of the digits 1, 2, and 3, and that's not going to work in 9 cells. Right, digits along an arrow sum to the number in that arrow circle. That's kind of going to be a little bit difficult to demonstrate with the fog here. Well, let's give it a go. So if you imagine that there's a circle in here and somehow there is like an arrow coming out and it's got something that looks like that. What it's essentially going to be saying is that on the arrow, these 2 cells add up to a value that you're going to have to be able to place inside this circle. Then we've got crop key dots. Cells separated by a white dot, which are clearly visible in here, must be consecutive. So if this cell is a 2, for example, this would have to be 1 or 3. If you imagine that this crop key dot here is actually black rather than white, and this happened to be a 2, this would be 1 or 4, so that one cell is double the other. Then the last and most obvious part is most of the grid is covered in fog, and placing correct digits will clear the surrounding fog, and no guessing is required. So if this 2 turns out to be correct, then all of the cells surrounding it with fog will be cleared and hopefully gives us some more clues to allow us to progress without any guessing. Right, as always, if you want to play along, link in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Now, I did say I'm going to take a slightly longer time to explain what's going on. And essentially, think about entropy as, just think of it as the number line. Everything that is in the first 3 digits is low. Everything that's in the next 3 digits, 4, 5, and 6 is yellow. And everything in the high digits is 7, 8, or 9. Now, what it's explicitly saying is that essentially for every 3 cells, there'll be 1 blue, 1 yellow, 1 red in some order, obviously preserved in the entire row. Otherwise, if I pick any 3 cells at random in this, if I don't always have them in the same order, I'm not going to have 1 blue, 1 yellow, 1 red. Now, I very deliberately put the number line because it helps us with the break-in. The only way that you could have crop key dots across 2 cells in entropic rows, so this cell and this cell are from different groups, is if you use 3, 4, and 6, 7. That's the only way you're going to be able to sort of cross that boundary. And very specifically, this and this have to be the same color. So let me just show you what this would look like. Green, purple, and orange. I don't know what's blue, what's yellow, or what's red at this point, although I do know which one is blue for sure. Sorry, which one is yellow for sure. And the reason is this cell is common. So essentially what we're saying is purple can attach to green and purple can attach to orange. So it's got to be yellow. So we can go ahead and immediately replace purple with yellow. I know that to cross the boundaries, the 4 and 6 have to be in here to be connected to the 3 and 7. So this is a 4-6, this is a 3-7 pair, and my break-in is the 5 in the middle with this digit. Fantastic. Right, we'll keep going. Remember that the green is either 3, meaning that these two cells are 1 and 2, or the orange is the 3, meaning these two cells are 1 and 2. Now I'm struggling to think about an arrow sum. Let's go with 2 for a second, where this cell here is apparently not the 1, not the 2, but it's a high digit that somehow sums up to the 2. So that's not going to happen. So orange is high, green is blue, and we have our next step. That's 3. This is 1, 2, this is 1, 2, and an arrow sum. I mean, admittedly, this could be a 1 with a single digit arrow in here with a 1. So we don't actually know. This is clearly a 7, this is a 6, and actually these two cells now add up to whatever this is, 8 and 9, and 8 and 9. Do I know what this is? It's a good question. How do I determine what this is? Do I need to figure that out? So, I mean, it could be 2 with a 1, and then another 1, let's say, back in here. It could be 1 with just a single 1. Of course, it could also be a 2 with a single 2, so I don't actually know for certain that this is a 1. Right, I'm going to move on. Of course, excuse me, I forgot about this. That's 4. There you go. That's 2 cells. That's a double 1. That's a 2. That's a 1. We have definitely our break-in at this point. Anyway, black Kropki dots. This is not 3, 6. Actually, this is probably more approachable. Right, not 3, 6, not 4, 8. This can only be 1, 2. Easy. And that means all of these in these rows are going to be the low digits. This is a 1, 3 pair. This is a 2, 3 pair. With 1, 2, and 3 all used up, this can only be 4, 8. This is 5, 9, and we actually know the order because one of them is on the arrow sum. That's 9, that's 5. That's got to be 4 now. Don't forget to color as you go along. So these are highs, therefore these are mediums. Because I know one of them is 4, one of them is 8. Well, this is clearly the 4, this is the 8. Why am I struggling to... I should be able to select multiple cells, shouldn't I? I don't know what's going on. All right, these are reds, and obviously this is the 5. These are yellows, and that's entropy. 4 in here is obviously a middle digit. And the 1s, which would be all of these are blues. Lovely. What else can I quickly color? Well, I may as well sort of kind of get the benefits of my labor here. This is another high digit with a low digit, and it's not, sorry, with a middle digit, and it's not 6, 3 because the 3 is not available. So that's another 8, 4, meaning this is 7, this is 9, and this is 6. 4 and 5, that's 6, that's 5, this is 9, this is 8, and this is 7. Lovely. Can I disambiguate these at all? What's going on with these? Must be able to. Oh yeah, of course, with the arrow sum. Yeah, never mind. Right, let's keep going. What else do I know? So I know that this is 2 or 3. These two cells. I'm just looking at the Kropkis and wondering, okay, interesting. Yeah, not too sure what's going on. Where's my next step? Okay, probably this cell. So this is 4 or, well, it's not 4 or 5, it's definitely 6. Right, fair enough. This is 6, this is definitely 5. Now, to get to 6, it's either 1 with a 5, which requires another yellow in the row. That's not going to happen. Or it's a double 3, and therefore that's my next step. And these are highs. Can I do much with that? Yes, I can. That's 2, that's 1. This is a high digit. That's going to be a low digit to get to a high digit in here, which is 7 or 9. That can only be an 8. And therefore, this would have to be a 1 and a 7. And it gives me some more colors to do. Lovely. Don't know what these are. Nope, don't know what these are. I feel like I should know more, but I don't for some reason. 1, so essentially I have another blue in here, and a 5. Well, the 5 is not going to be on the black crop kit. Half of 5 is 2.5, double of 5 is 10. So that's my yellow. Obviously, once you've got 2 colors in the same row, you know the third. And these are also blue. And we're done with blues basically in the top section. There can only be 3 in a box. Somewhere in here is a 1. Well, this is not 1 or 2, that's 3. That's 2. That's 3. That's 2. That's 3. This is a 1-2 pair. That's 2. That's 1. That's 3. That's 2. That's got to be 4 because it's a different entropy. Can't be 1. Which, of course, allows me to do the following. That's yellow. That's red. And I'm sure I can figure these out. Oh, no, I can't. Red and yellow. Never mind. We've got the same thing going on here with the white crop kit out. We've got to cross barriers. So it's either 3, 4 or 5, sorry, 6, 7. And based on the 6 and the 3, this is the 3 or the 6. Well, the 6 and 7 doesn't work because neither of the cells could be it. So this is in fact 3, 4. And that's probably going to give me everything that I need to actually finish this puzzle. Right, I need a 9 somewhere in here. And then a 5 or 6. Interesting. Kind of thought by the time I got to this far in the puzzle, I would have actually been able to color it all, but for some reason I'm not able to. 8. Don't know, 7 or 9. What am I missing? Oh, of course, the arrow. There you go. That will help me, I suspect. And then look at it probably vertically just to see how many of each we've got. We've got 3 yellows, 3 blues. That's my red. That's my yellow. And then just a bunch of hopefully very quick Sudoku. 7, 8. There you go. 9, 8, 9, 9, 7, 9, 7, 8, 9, 7, 9, 7, 8. Lovely. We're almost done with all the blues, but last ones. Done. And then quickly with the yellows. That's the kind of scanning that you want to be able to possess, but for some reason I just cannot do. Ooh. Oh, yeah, there you go. For a second, it just looked like, hang on, I'm not too sure how to do this one. And if I've not made any mistakes, 6 for the finish. Beautiful puzzle, Sir Moose. I absolutely love this variant. It makes for exceptionally smooth puzzles to solve if you kind of understand entropy. Hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.